This doing well by doing good thing, what is exactly the goal of this?
Let me start by telling you what it's not. It's
Yeah.
not a list of companies and their charity. The theory is that if you do something and bring the profit motive, you bring more energy to the process, it becomes core to your business as opposed to a little side project that's well-intentioned.
Right, and this is kind of remarkable. I mean, a lot of companies do a lot of good, but they're not necessarily profiting off of that, right?
Absolutely. And again, we're not knocking those companies.
Yeah.
This is something that we think is way bigger because companies are bringing that dynamic of the profit to it.
So let's talk about some of the companies on the list. The number one is GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. They're doing cheap drug sales in developing countries, something like that?
Yes. So 6 billion of the world's 7 billion people live in poor economies. That's where, drugs are most needed. They're giving up their patents and selling their medications for way lower prices than in the West. And by the way, still making a profit at it.
Right, and which is crazy because, I think about the cost of drugs in the United States,
Yes.
and it makes me wonder, right? And then there are some other ones, right? So we mentioned Walmart earlier in the show. They're actually doing interesting things around wages, right? Which is a kind of a grand tradition in business.
Yes. Well, first of all, 1.1 million workers got a $1 or more pay raise.
Which is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. And yes, to me, it harkens back to Henry Ford 100 years ago when he decided to give all his workers $5 a day. It wasn't out of the goodness of his heart, believe me. It allowed them to enter the middle class and even buy Ford products. So there's absolute self-interest there.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Walmart, of course, the number one Fortune 500 company by a long shot. Then there's this company, Munich Re. They're an insurance company. Why is an insurance company on this list?
Yes, well, you don't associate insurers with progressivism, but they first recognized global warming 40 years ago, started warning about it.
Wow.
Then they've shared data with the world. They're issuing policies on renewable energy projects, and they've started micro insurance in places like India, where like a guy who's got 2 cows can buy for a few dollars a year an insurance policy that protects him against the weather.